Hello there. I am the one with the Force today for the special Star Wars episode of Nerd Alert. The Force is with me and alongside my panelists, Joey Shirillo and Braden Hanna. Now, it's our Star Wars themed segment here. Guys, I know you two both are huge Star Wars fans. I'm going to send it down to Braden first. What do you like so much about Star Wars?
Well, I grew up watching Star Wars. Me and my father would sit down and watch the movies together, and we would. He was a big original trilogy fan, and I liked the prequels a lot, so we both got to enjoy what each other liked, and I've been watching it ever since.
Yeah, myself, my dad also was a big part of it. He and I, we both really fell in love with it together, and he showed me the original trilogy, and that's pretty much all he saw. And then I was like, oh, there's new ones, we should watch those. And so we did, and it was really cool. And then now I'd say that I've become the avid fan over him. I have to update him on what's new and stuff, but yeah, I think definitely my dad was a big aspect of it.
Yeah, I was definitely a late guy getting into the Star Wars. I didn't actually start watching Star Wars until about COVID. I remember I saw The Force Awakens out in theaters when that came out. That was the first Star Wars movie I ever saw. Loved it. So my brother and I, during COVID and when Disney Plus was starting to become a thing.
Mandalorian, baby.
My brother and I, we would watch like The Mandalorian. We watched all the Star Wars movies, whether it would be like 10 o'clock at night. We'd be staying up all night watching Star Wars films. So it was definitely, I mean, it's a lot of fun.
It's a fun way to watch them.
And you know, Star Wars, it just keeps on building and building. Like the Star Wars universe is so big, and Disney's really done a great job. And you know, just the lightsabers, the clones, like the stormtroopers, like there's so much iconic stuff that happens in these Star Wars films that you just can't beat. Now, starting with you, Chirillo, what are some of like your negative like parts of Star Wars?
I'd say for my negatives, I'd say Disney has been not the greatest as of recent. Well, not as of recent, but when they first started, The Force Awakens was good, and it started off well, and then you go into The Last Jedi, and personally, Last Jedi is not a terrible movie. I like it as a movie, but not as a Star Wars movie. I don't think that the storyline, I don't like where they take Luke. I don't like where Rey goes. I don't like the trajectory they take Rose and Finn on. It's kind of stupid in my opinion. But then you get to Rise of Skywalker and you kind of just ruin it. You make it feel too much like Avengers Endgame, which came out a few months earlier, and it didn't sit well with me. So I like to block 8 and 9 and just think of like Rogue One and Solo and Clone Wars and Rebels, because those are the good things that have come out of Disney, Star Wars, and Mandalorian. So I'd say as of lately they've been doing better, but there's definitely been not some shining moments.
Yeah, I feel the same way of how like Disney's like been doing that is just because fans love it so much. They're putting out all this stuff all at once, and that's kind of what Disney's been doing with Marvel too, as well as what we saw last year.
They take a cut back on that.
And they're taking a step back because they want to make sure they get all this stuff right. And I feel like it's the same thing with Star Wars as well.
Yeah, I think on the whole, I think they're putting out pretty good Star Wars stuff. You know, like you brought up The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, and they weren't very good movies. But I think The Force Awakens was pretty good. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have been up on The Bad Batch coming out. I've been trying to watch them as they're coming out, and I think they're pretty good. Really heavy with fan service, though.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of that, bringing a lot of characters back that I'm surprised aren't gone yet. Yeah, but
it's just all fan service, which for me, you know, I claim to not like it, but then I'll turn around and consume everything they put out. So, you know, just besides that, I think for the most part they're doing pretty well, and I'm sure they're making a ton of money off of it.
Yeah, they are, definitely.
Yeah, and you know, with Star Wars and what Disney's been doing is it's been less of the movie side, more of the TV series. I mean, ever since Disney Plus came out, that's kind of really what they've been going, especially Star Wars, Marvel, all these different universes that Disney has, you know, either bought out or you know, they made. But like, what are your thoughts? What are your favorite shows to watch on Disney Plus for Star Wars, like The Mandalorian, like stuff like that?
For me, it's the Clone Wars series. I liked some of the live action stuff they put out. You know, Mandalorian's good. Some bad stuff in it. I think there's a lot of filler. And there is filler in Clone Wars. I can't deny that. But I think on the, when you break down the series as a whole, I think it has some really good arcs, and people don't like the political stuff in it. I think it helps build the world, like world building stuff. I love it. It's really great.
You hit the mark on that. I think Clone Wars is one of the better shows shows in general. I think you could argue that it's up there with like Breaking Bad or Sopranos. Like, it's one of the best shows I've ever seen. And they keep adding to it, and with the TV shows, they've done well because I think it adds more character development to all the characters they have, because there's a lot. So you do Clone Wars, and you round out Ahsoka very well, and then you have the Ahsoka series that comes out, which also ties into Star Wars Rebels. And Star Wars Rebels is a great show that I truly love, and that's pretty much what I kind of grew up with Star Wars-wise. And then you go into The Mandalorian, and you're giving us new characters while also feeding us characters from the Clone Wars and stuff like that. So it's really cool, and I do enjoy that they find a way to connect them all, but then that's where the fan service comes in, and it sometimes can get a little carried away. Asajj Ventress just came back in the Bad Batch as of recent. Cad Bane was back in an episode. And so I liked how they did Cad Bane because it wasn't forced, and it was like it made sense. The Asajj thing didn't really make sense because I also read the books that go along with Star Wars, and in one of their books, Dark Disciple, have you read that at all?
I have not.
In Dark Disciple, the book, basically Asajj Ventress dies, saving her love for Quinlan Voss, who they were attempting to kill Count Dooku. Long story short, I don't know how she came back. Nobody really knows, and so she's just here. So that's where I don't like what Star Wars does, is because they just come up with random stuff. And the line was, let's just say I have many lives. That's just saying somehow Palpatine returned. Like, you tried that in episode 9, and now you're just saying it again. Like, it didn't work. Why are we doing it again? But that's my only gripe.
Yeah, I mean...
it's a long gripe, but it's a gripe.
Yeah, but definitely, I mean, that's also a good show. But for me, I've always been a fan of The Mandalorian. Just the storylines that they've done and how they've built all those characters up. And, a lot of the suspense that happens, too, with The Mandalorian in that new season. It's not really a season, it's a movie.
I know. It's going to be different. I'm kind of not scared, but interested to see where it's going, because you have the first season of Mandalorian, which I would say is a 10 out of 10. Then you go to season 2, which I think is a 10 out of 10. And then you go to season 3, which I'd say is like a 6 out of 10. And then you're like, oh, season 4, yeah, it's going to be a movie. So it's going to be 7 hours of less content of The Mandalorian, because basically each Mandalorian episode in 1, 2, and 3 is about an hour, and then we're only getting like an hour, 2-hour film. So we're only getting like 2 hours worth of content for a season 4. That's 6 hours less content. I'm concerned on how they're going to wrap it up with only 2 hours.
Yeah, that's what I love about these TV shows on Disney Plus is the amount of content that you get from each season. And what I love what Disney Plus does is they don't release the entire season like on a day like how Netflix does, so you can binge watch it all. You got to keep on coming back every week. And I mean, it's smart on Disney's part, because obviously they're going to make more money doing it that way than, say, Netflix. But then also it's good for the fans because it's going to keep them in suspense. It's going to make them want to come back next week to see the new episode. But I mean, I love the direction that Disney's done with Star Wars, putting it on Disney Plus, making all these different side TV shows. And it's just a matter of when is it all going to tie in together, and will we get just this nice big long TV show, or is it going to be just a movie with less content? But what are your thoughts?
Personally, I'm really happy that they're deciding to go that route. I've been critical of shows like The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, because I feel that they're a little bit bloated with filler content, just stuff that I don't think needs to be there, that doesn't improve the story. By choosing to go a shorter movie route, I think they can make a short, concise story that hits the main points, doesn't drag on, and just does what it needs to do, and would be, I think, better Star Wars than some of the shows that have come out, hopefully.
Yeah, I can see that point, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's going to do it for the first segment of this Star Wars special themed episode of Nerd Alert. When we come back after this, we will have a little Q&A for these guys, so stay tuned.
4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm Michael McKenzie, and welcome back to Plead Your Case.
Plead Your Case, Waynesburg University's only national sports debate show.
And you see what it said? This is 83 and 104.
If you're a sports fan, this is the show for you. Each week, we cover the most relevant news and hear arguments from all angles.
Tom Brady recently went on the air and said, "I believe there's a lot of mediocrity in today's NFL."
There's all the hot takes you could ask for.
Mike Tomlin is the most mediocre head coach of all time.
And fiery back and forths.
No, listen, Bowtie.
It's like Foursquare. Have you ever played Foursquare? No, you were too old to play Foursquare.
So whether it's on camera or behind the scenes, sit back, relax.
It's time to plead your case.
Welcome back to the special Star Wars themed episode of Nerd Alert. For this segment, I have 10 Q&A questions queued up here for Joey and Braden. I'm going to ask them. We're going to get answers and their opinions of why they answered that. So are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right, sweet. First question I have. What is your favorite Star Wars character? I'll start with you, Braden.
That's a tough one.
I feel like I
well,
should have prepped for this.
Yeah.
Came in
so
having
good.
knowledge.
But I think I'm going to stick to my guns, and since I've talked about how much I love the Clone Wars, I'll have to pick a Clone Wars character. I'm going to try to go with an easy one and say Rex.
Yep.
I think Rex is an easy win, and I love that they brought him back for the Bad Batch. I think it's visually one of the coolest guys because he in his helmet, he put his Phase 1 and Phase 2 helmet together, and it has its own distinct look, and I think he's just a cool character, so...
Yeah, I'd agree with that for Rex. Myself, I think I'm going to have to go Grand Admiral Thrawn. It's kind of an obscure pick, but I've read all the books about Thrawn from Timothy Zahn. I have read all the comics that I know he's on. I've done as much stuff with Thrawn as I can, and I absolutely love Thrawn and his character. His voice is so cool. Him back in Ahsoka is awesome. I just really love his character and how smart he is around all the stuff he does. I love Thrawn. Thrawn's my favorite.
Yeah, for me, pretty basic pick. R2-D2.
Yeah,
I've always been a fan of him since I was little, even before I even started watching the Star Wars films. I always just thought he was a cool little robot. And in elementary school, I had a R2-D2 lunchbox too. Wow. I think it might have been my first or second grade year. I don't remember what grade, but I used to have an R2-D2 lunchbox.
There you go.
And, I just was fascinated by R2-D2. I don't know why, but, I still do to this day.
Nice.
But
good pick.
Second question, I'll start with you, Trillo,
Yeah.
for this one. What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
I'm going to go Return of the Jedi, Episode 6. That was the first movie that my dad introduced me with. That's the first Star Wars movie I ever saw. So besides from the fact that I like the story behind it, the meaning of the movie itself to myself and my father just holds it a little higher for me. So I'm going to go Return of the Jedi.
I can't choose between two movies. I have my favorite movie, and then I have a movie I think is the best. My favorite is, personally right now, is Rogue One. I've watched so many of the other movies so many times that it's it's like an overplayed song. You play it so many times that you don't want to listen to it anymore. It's kind of like that with the prequels and the original trilogy. Love them, but I'm kind of on my Rogue One highlight right now.
Okay.
And then I think the best for me is probably Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, that's.
I think that's what most people say is everyone's best movie. I really love that movie, and I think it holds its rightful place as number one in my mind.
I'd agree.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's Episode 7.
Force Awakens.
Yeah, The Force Awakens. Just because that was the first one I watched. I actually went to theaters. It's the only Star Wars film I've actually went to go see it in theaters. The rest of the movies I just watched on Disney Plus when it got there. But I mean,
cheater.
Yeah. I mean, I started late.
How dare you?
It's okay. It's okay.
Nope.
I still watched all the movies. We're
Not
fine.
okay.
We're good.
Not okay.
We're fine. It's just the one I was introduced to. That's what got me in. So
I got to take you to the marathon they're hosting on May the 4th.
yeah,
Gotta watch them all.
yeah,
in
we
theaters.
should. And it's a Saturday too, I believe. So
Exactly.
yeah, I mean that'd be perfect.
Exactly my point.
All right. So third question I got: what color lightsaber would you have and why?
Ugh.
That's a tough one.
I'm gonna go yellow. I think yellow is cool as a lightsaber color. Not a lot of people have it either, so I'm gonna go yellow.
I'd have to go green because I like the idea that the green lightsaber was chosen for Luke in Return of the Jedi because the blue wouldn't mesh well with the sky. So I like the idea that they had to go with green because it wasn't showing up well as blue. So I just think it's cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to say blue just because blue's my favorite color, and Luke Skywalker is an iconic character too. But I wouldn't mind red. I'm kind of a sucker for the dark side a little bit with the Force and Darth Vader.
Stay away.
So definitely that. But
Stay
like
away.
my plan is if I ever get a chance to go to Disney World again, I'm going to Galaxy's Edge
100%.
and I'm building my own lightsaber. I don't care.
Are you grabbing that red crystal?
Yeah, I'm thinking I might grab that red crystal. I mean,
Nope.
I don't even know how much it is. I don't care if it's like $200
If
or
they got a
whatever
purple
to do
one
it.
sitting there, you're grabbing red instead of purple?
Oh, that's tough. I still think I'd go red. Just 'cause
exactly.
I like that dark side. But this ties right into my next question.
All right, hit us.
Here, dark side or not?
Why?
Why?
Yeah. What? Or do I got to give a reason?
Yeah,
why?
yeah. Give a reason why.
Would
Would you rather be on the light side or the dark side?
If I'd
and
rather
why?
be on a side, then I'm going to go to the light. Who wants to be on the dark side? Who desires to be on the dark? I mean, I don't know.
I would.
Oh, well, I mean, we found
That's
one
my guy
person.
right there.
I would. They say that it's all pain and suffering, and you're fueled by your motivations and stuff as a dark side user. But man, it's cool. You see Darth Vader. Darth Vader's awesome, man. And I love playing the games, all the Star Wars games that have come out. And I love playing Battlefront 2 and loading in as Vader, and
This
it's
guy knows.
awesome.
I love
So
playing Battlefront 2.
if
I
I
still
could
play
get-
it religiously.
if I could get some of the force powers like lightning and choke and stuff, that'd be pretty cool. So I'd have to go with that.
I mean, I totally agree. I'm a dark side guy. I mean,
Guys are-
I mean, I love it. I mean, Darth Vader, Kylo Ren,
no.
they're up there on my list of favorite characters.
Yeah, but then they're just like sad all the time and angry. You really want to be angry and sad all the time? I don't. I like being
mean,
happy.
in the Star Wars universe, I mean, even being a stormtrooper too. I mean, I mean,
They're not people.
yeah, they're not people.
Stormtroopers are just there.
All right. Next question. We're gonna get into the would you rather's now. Would you
Okay.
rather be a Jedi or a Wookiee?
Jedi.
Jedi.
I'd rather be a Jedi.
I disagree. I think being a Wookiee would be pretty awesome. 'Cause
Wookiee would be cool, but I feel like that's too much hair for me.
I love Kashyyyk. Anytime it's shown, and I go back to the games in Battlefront 2, the 2018 one. They have a beautiful representation of what Kashyyyk is supposed to look like,
They do. They have a really
and
good-
I think it looks so good. And I love in Episode 3 when they had the battle on Kashyyyk, and it doesn't show a lot. It's just anytime they're showing Yoda is when they're showing Kashyyyk, but it's still cool. And
that's a good point.
more to be on that planet than to be the Wookiee, but I would go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Jedi person.
I don't know. I feel like those robes are super comfortable.
I know they do, and then like with the hood up and the lightsaber, it's just so cool. I'll tell you what, I work for a collegiate level baseball team, the Butler Blue Sox. They're part of my hometown, and we do a Star Wars themed night every year. And last year, the Star Wars night was the day after I graduated high school, and we got to keep our cap and gown. So what I did. So what we did is we took pool noodles and we took duct tape and we put a handle on it so they were lightsabers. So it was soft and the kids could use it because and
Can't trust them baseball players
So the
with
only
actual lightsabers,
yep.
clearly.
The only 2 times I've ever worn my gown was during my graduation, and the next day I wore it as a Jedi, and my one coworker dressed as a Wookiee because he had a Wookiee thing. So, and there's a picture probably on my Instagram right now. So
Nice.
of it, big Jedi person.
Nice.
But would you rather be trained by Han Solo or Luke Skywalker?
Han. I like Han. I think he'd be a great character to be trained by.
I'm not trying to disagree with you on all these for the sake of disagreeing and having
If Luke's still great,
a discussion, but I mean, besides smuggling, I don't think Han has really a whole lot to teach because I mean, when it gets picked up, and I know that they made the Solo movie and it kind of expounds on his backstory and some of the stuff he did, but besides smuggling, when he gets picked up in Episode 4 and first shown, he's just a smuggler, just
Yeah.
nothing really else to him. Luke at least he has, you can be a Jedi. I'm assuming the question is if you have Force abilities too, you're Force sensitive, then I would pick Luke.
Yeah, if you're Force sensitive, you got to choose Luke. But
yeah.
I think Han being the pilot of the Falcon,
Mm-hmm.
did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Come on, can't beat that.
I mean,
I'd take him.
Luke Skywalker, I mean, iconic. So like, I just love Luke Skywalker way more than I do Han Solo. I'm not saying Han Solo is a bad character, but I just like Luke Skywalker more. So
if I could make an amendment, I would only pick Luke Skywalker if Mark Hamill does his Joker voice while he teaches me.
Dude, that's so true. That would be so funny.
Great take.
But you said the Millennium Falcon earlier.
Yeah.
So
here we go.
would you rather take a ride on the Millennium Falcon or the Death Star?
Can you ride the Death Star? I mean, I guess, because it can't go into hyperspace.
Yeah.
I feel like the Death Star would take too long, though, because it's so big. I'm going to go the Falcon.
Yeah, I think I'd get lost on the Death Star because
Yeah,
all
that
the
too.
hallways look exactly
so
the
much.
same.
Yeah, but with the Death Star, you could live on the Death Star. I mean, I guess you could
but
on
it
the
also
Falcon
blew up
too,
twice. The Falcon hasn't blown up yet.
but that is true.
I'm going with the Falcon.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Falcon too.
You're making me want to change my answer, but I'm still gonna
It
say
blew up
that.
Twice.
I know, but
Plus, it's big as a moon.
yeah,
How are you going
I
to get
know.
around it?
That is-
How are you going to go anywhere?
That
You're gonna get lost,
that is
like you
true.
said.
I still am gonna say the Death Star just because the dark side.
Bad take.
Whoa.
Bad take.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I will disagree. Turn this into a plead your case segment really quickly here. Well, would you rather be a stormtrooper or a bounty hunter?
Bounty hunter.
Yeah,
I
bounty
live on
hunter
my own.
easy.
Yeah, I don't have to follow imperial regulations. I can do whatever I want. Go after anyone I want.
Mm-hmm.
Sign
Yeah,
me
that
up.
is true. I mean, I felt like if I was one of the two, I'd want to like be able to like hit a target, I guess.
Going off of that, if I were to choose my weapons as a bounty hunter, I'd want Cad Bane's pistols because I think they sound cool.
That's a good one. That's a
all.
good one. All right. Would you rather be with Baby Yoda or Adult Yoda?
Adult Yoda. He has so much wisdom and age.
I think it would be funny to be around Baby Yoda and only the episode in Mandalorian where he's eating the eggs of the last surviving species, the people of the species. I like that. I thought that was pretty funny. But I would just love to be around Yoda when he's talking all backwards and stuff and can't understand what he's trying to say and stuff. So I think I'd have to go with Yoda too. Adult Yoda.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it would be cool to like be trained by Adult Yoda too. So I'd probably go Adult Yoda too. Now, last question I have for you for this Q&A segment. From any of the Star Wars films, what was your favorite quote? We'll start with you, Brayden.
I gotta think.
That's tough.
I should have thought about this earlier. I don't even know. There's a lot. There's a lot of good quotes. Oh, what's the one? It's when they're on Mandalore and it's Maul and Ahsoka and it's like their speech. I forget what it is, but that's a good one. I think my favorite line, I think I know, is Vader when he's meeting. It's in Rogue One. He's meeting with Krennic, and Krennic's like getting, and then he's like, Vader starts walking away, and then he starts choking Krennic, and he goes like, "Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Dr. Krennic." Or Director Krennic.
Yeah,
I think that's one of my favorites.
I'll choose a Vader quote too. I can't remember exactly what movie it's from, but when Vader says, "You are as clumsy as you are stupid."
Oh yeah,
You're
that's
as
such a
clumsy as
good
you're
one.
Stupid. Yeah, that's a good one. There's a lot of good quotes in Star Wars.
There's so many good quotes in Star Wars, and then like the spin-off like Spaceballs. There's so many funny quotes from that movie too.
Ooh, I got another one from The Bad Batch, season 2 finale. Tech, when he dies, his last words are, "When have we ever followed orders?" That's in my Instagram bio. I love that quote. When have we ever followed orders?
Well, my favorite quote, I'm going to sound so basic by this, but I did it in my intro too. Hello there. It's just so funny, like how he says it. General and Kenobi. I'm also a big, it's over Anakin, I have the high ground.
Yeah.
That's also
That whole speech I could recite.
I mean, that speech is just one of the most iconic moments in all of the Star Wars films. And just Star Wars as a whole.
Yeah.
But that is going to do it for the second segment of Star Wars. When we come back for the final segment, we're going to play a little bit of some Star Wars Jeopardy.
Welcome back. I'm Deanna Hernandez, and I'm wearing my glasses today, which means it's time for Woo Tunes, and I'm breaking down this week's Billboard Top 10, and I am very excited because we've got a lot of new and great songs this week. Starting at number 10, Ariana Grande is finally back with all new music, and her song, We Can't Be Friends, has been a major success, not only with its unique vibe, its meaning, and even a possible new makeup trend. I have been loving this song to just sing to while driving or doing schoolwork, and I'm excited for the future of Ariana Grande. Next up, number 9, we have the anticipated album by Future and Metro Boomin, We Don't Trust You. This album was released on March 22nd and has taken the charts by storm, taking almost all the spots on the Billboard Top 10 and giving Future his third #1 single and Metro his first. And The Weeknd is here alongside them to take the spot with Young Metro. Again, one of those songs to just listen to and enjoy while driving or maybe even hitting the gym. And it's the first of many songs on this album that will be on the charts exactly as we go into number 8. Our second song and the first track off the album is We Don't Trust You. You need a strong start to any album, and I feel like this one does that pretty well. We Don't Trust You gets stuck in your head and definitely sets the tone for the rest of the album. Number 7, we've got a song that I've been pretty vocal about in the past, Loving on Me by Jack Harlow. This song has been on the charts for 20 weeks now, and I'm not so sure. I said in the beginning I saw its potential, but now I feel like it's run its course, it's overplayed, but it looks like it's here to stay for a little longer, so who am I to say anything? Nonetheless, we move on and we make our way back to Future and Metro, this time alongside Travis Scott with Cinderella. A Future and Travis Scott honestly complement each other really well. I feel like their voices sound pretty similar and flow well alongside each other. Clearly one of the top songs on this track, as it takes the number 6 spot on our list. Moving on, taking another small break from that, at number 5 we've got 2 sweet Hozier songs I'm pretty familiar with. Hozier as an artist, and I knew he has this recent release, and I've heard the song on TikTok a lot, but I didn't connect that it was the same song. His song, nonetheless, is a really good vibe, a good summer song, and his voice is just so unique. There's not anyone doing anything like he is right now, and it's definitely paying off for him. Number 4, we've got Lose Control by Teddy Swims. This is the song's 3rd week on the chart, and I say it is well-deserved. More so than others, but it is holding on strong. Like I said before, his voice is truly incredible and unique, not just on the recording, but live as well. Last week it was number 1, obviously now it's bumped down a few places, but I have a feeling it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. Speaking of, at number 3, we have last week's number 2 song, Beautiful Things by Benson Boone. This one's pretty different from most of the songs off the chart, but is such a good, powerful song. I absolutely love the guitar in it. And as Andrew Price said while I was listening to this song's been stuck in my head for so long. And I don't blame him because it's everywhere and it's a great song. It's been on the charts for 10 weeks now and will probably, it probably would have been number 1 if it wasn't for Future and Metro Boomin, which, speaking of, to our number 2 spot, we have the 4th song on the album with an iconic lineup featuring not just Future and Metro, but also Travis Scott and Playboi Carti. I have to say, my favorite part has to be the switch up starting about a minute in. The song at first didn't stand out to me, but then that echoey vibe hit and changed the song for me. This is a really good vibe, and it has to be with such big names on that track. And finally, what do we expect? The 6th track on this album, we have the Magic Duo plus Kendrick Lamar for Like That. I really like Kendrick Lamar, and I had very high expectations for this song, and they did not disappoint at all. Off the bat, I felt this had a different vibe than the first few songs on this album, definitely giving me some type of retro vibe. But I don't know why Kendrick Lamar coming in with those iconic lines, if you know, you know, definitely a song that can stay on the charts and the trends. It's already confirmed that this duo will be releasing another album titled perfectly with We Still Don't Trust You, expected by April 12th. And if it's anything like this album, we will not be seeing the last of Future and Metro Boomin. But that will have to be it for Woo Tunes. I'm Deanna Hernandez, sending it back to the panel.
Welcome back to the final episode here of the Star Wars themed episode of Nerd Alert. I'm here with my panel, Joey Shirillo and Braden Hanna. And for this last segment, we're going to be doing some Star Wars themed Jeopardy.
Yeah, baby.
So they have buzzers in front of them. They both are different. If you guys want to play them, so they know whose is whose.
That's what mine sounds like.
This is mine.
So we know who hits who. Here, I got the scoreboard right here. Do they have the Force with them here?
get
25 questions are all miscellaneous, so the categories are Star Wars 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, but it's all miscellaneous to everything. So,
Let's go. Hit me.
So who wants to pick the first question?
I'll
Star Wars 1 to 5.
Star Wars 3 for 400.
Star Wars 3 for 400. What is the location of the scene in which we see the color of Luke's outfit change from white to black?
Read it again.
What is the location of the scene in which we see the color of Luke's outfit change from white to black?
Is it when he goes into Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi?
Yes, you are correct. That is 400 points on the board for Braden.
From one movie to the other.
Again,
okay.
these
That
questions
makes
are
sense.
not meant to be that easy. I know you two are big Star Wars fans, way more than I am. So
Yeah, well, let's go.
It's not meant to be easy here. Braden,
Let's
get
do
to
the
pick.
next one down the list for the 500.
for 500. 500 for Star Wars 3.
Sure.
According to the Emperor, what was Luke Skywalker's weakness?
The faith in his friends.
Yes, correct. 500 on the board for Joey.
Let's go.
Here's your
500.
scoreboard update right here. 500 to 400 in favor of Joey. All right. What's your next category?
Star Wars 4 500.
Star Wars 4 for 500. Which bounty hunter was trying to capture Han Solo when Greedo arrived first?
It was some Jesuit, I think. Is how you say it? Najeget?
No.
Dang.
You have an answer?
I do not.
All right. It's wrong. It's Dan's Boren.
Oh, well, I was way off.
Dan's Borens. No points for that one. Score is still 500 to 400. Joey, since you still got the last one correctly.
All right, hit me with just Star Wars 100.
Star Wars, the first one?
Yep, just see where it goes.
Okay. Which Star Wars film has the most Academy Awards to its name?
Star Wars The Last Jedi?
No.
Dang.
Return of the Jedi?
No, it's not. It is
I thought
A New Hope.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
What?
Episode 4, A New Hope. The first Star Wars film to come out back in 1977.
Wow.
So
Okay.
definitely interesting. Again, Joe, you get to pick the next category.
All
Since
right.
you got the last one right.
Just pick a 500.
A
one.
500.
Yeah, just you.
We'll give you Star Wars 5 for 500.
Okay, hit me.
Where did the Clone Wars begin?
Geonosis.
Geonosis is correct. 500 points on the board again for Joey. He's up to 1,000.
I'm still surprised by A New Hope. In 1977, there weren't
So
that
we got
many Academy
1,000
Awards.
to 400 in favor of Joey. So what's the next
Alright.
category you want?
Just do another 500.
Do another 500. Star Wars 2 or Star Wars 1 for 500?
2.
2. All right. What were Padme's last words?
Obi-Wan, there's still good in him, I know it.
Yes, correct. You were pretty much, you were like 2 words off, but I'm going to give it to you
Okay.
because you were right on it. It was Obi-Wan, there is good in him, I know there is.
Okay.
So another
She died for
500
no
points.
reason, by the way. Her
Trillo.
reason of death is stupid.
He's up by 1,100 right now on Braden.
will to live.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the next one you want?
Give me the other 500.
All right, for Star Wars. What was the original title for the Star Wars movies? Before they were called Star Wars, it was called something else. This is a really hard
I know.
question.
He lost me.
I know that Luke was supposed to be Star Killer. I knew that Return of the Jedi was supposed to be Revenge of the Jedi. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Nothing?
Nope.
Okay, it was The Adventures of Luke Starkiller.
Oh, so I was like half right.
Yeah,
All right.
you were getting on the right track, but
Oh,
still
that was
no right
almost
answer. Nothing changes on
All
the
right,
board.
Braden can pick next. I'm tired of picking.
Okay, Braden, you can pick.
What's the, I don't know, any one of the ones from the first Star Wars category? Any number?
Okay, you want 2, 3, or 4?
2.
to it.
Star Wars for 200. Who is Rey's grandfather?
Palpatine.
Yes, correct.
Palpatine.
200 for Braden. It's now 1,500 to 600. All right, what's the next category you want?
400 for the first Star Wars.
Okay, first Star Wars. Who freed Princess Leia from her chains at Jabba's palace?
R2?
Yep, correct. 400 points.
It's Jabba's barge. It's not the palace. They're on the barge when it happens. So
Okay, it does
wherever
say
you got
right
that question,
here, it
you're
says
wrong.
Jabba's palace.
You're wrong, brother.
So,
You're incorrect.
all right, so 300 then, I'm assuming for Star Wars, or you want something else?
Hit it.
All right. What are the creatures living on Endor that helped the rebels to defeat the second Death Star?
Ewoks.
It was Ewoks.
Oh, I was like, what? You took forever to say yes. I was like,
I forgot to hit the space bar to look at the answer. That's on me. But score update after Star Wars 1 is out still. 1,900 for Joey, 900 for Braden. Braden, you get to pick. There's nothing left for the first category of Star Wars.
Let's move on to the second category, first one.
First one? Okay, we're just going in order. Okay.
I'd say
we're
you
gonna
just
make
you just
we
pick it.
just
and
go
we'll
in
with the
order?
points.
I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like that's what we're going here.
Let's just do that.
All right, what is Samuel L. Jackson's character called?
Mace Windu.
Correct. 100 points for Joey. He's up to 2,000. If I know how to write 2,000, it's
Do
there.
you?
I do know how to write 2,000.
Good. I'd hope you.
I
did.
was a little bit worried because it didn't look like
If
it
not,
did.
I would have just blamed it on comm math.
Yeah. Comment. Okay. 200 for Star Wars 2. I'm just going to pick the category.
Okay.
Who built C-3PO?
Anakin Skywalker.
Yes, correct. 200 points for Braden. He's up to 1,100. All right, Star Wars 2 for 300. What is the name of Yoda's home?
Trick question. He doesn't have one.
You gonna hit your buzzer for that? Is that gonna be
No.
an answer? No. Okay.
No, I wanna.
I got nothing.
I think the wording of the question is
It's pretty
weird.
much where is Yoda from?
We don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know.
No. Dagobah?
Yeah, Dagobah.
That's not where he's from. But
Well, that's
okay.
that's the answer for this, unfortunately.
Well, wherever you got that, it's wrong. Yoda doesn't have a home because nobody knows his species. His species is unknown, and they don't know where he came from. Dagobah is where he had his exile. That's where he lived in exile.
I guess that's probably where the answer comes from. That's my guess.
All right.
Star Wars 2 for 400. What is an X-Wing pilot, a Jedi Master, but still needs power converters?
Luke.
Yep. Trillo is
I'm
up
going to go
to...
to the Tosh Station and get some power converters.
He's up to
You can do that when you've
2,700.
done your chores.
All right. 2 categories down. Score update. If you can see, it's 2,700 for Joey, 1,100 for Braden. Heading over into Star Wars 3 for 100. What is Chewbacca's weapon of choice?
Bowcaster.
Yes. 100 up on the board for
Do
Braden.
you like the design in Revenge of the Sith for the bowcaster?
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot more than the regular.
All right. For 200, what did Luke Skywalker lose in his fight against Darth Vader?
His hand. Left hand.
Which hand?
Left hand.
No.
Right hand.
Yeah, it's the right hand. I'm still going to give it to you
Yeah, I was
because
gonna
you did
say,
say
he's
it.
still got his hand. I don't think it matters which one.
Yeah. But it does, the answer
If
says
it's not
his
his
right
left,
hand.
it has to be his right, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, right.
right. He's right.
Right.
But you're wrong because it's going to Braden.
Right.
Right on that. All right. Star Wars 3 for 300. What is Admiral Akbar's famous phrase?
You got it.
It's a trap.
Yes, correct. Braden slowly coming back into this one. Score update after Star Wars 1, 2, and 3 are gone. We got 2,700 for Joey and 1,700 for Braden. Comeback is starting up for Braden. Star Wars 4 for 100. Which Star Wars film has this quote? I don't like sand.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.
Yep.
Attack of
Episode
the
2,
Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
Gets everywhere. It's coarse and rough. The dialogue in that movie is terrible.
Yeah, I do.
I
agree
don't like
with that
sand. Who says that?
one. Yeah.
Who just says that?
I know. It's a little
It's my
bit
own
weird
gripe.
too.
Sorry.
All right.
Get
Star
on
Wars 4 for 200. Which nickname does Han give Luke that drives him crazy?
Oh, wait.
Junior?
I'm sorry, what?
Junior?
No, it's not Junior. Yes.
Flyboy?
No. Answer is Kid. K-I-D. Kid. Star Wars 4 for 300. What year was episode IV released? I said this earlier in the segment.
1977.
Yes, correct.
March 25th, 1977.
Didn't say that. I did not know it was released in March. But
Yep.
you are right, though. Joey is up to 2,000 points. For Star Wars 4 for 400, what term is used for Force users who may use both light and dark side?
Well, they call them gray Jedi, but I don't think it's a real thing.
Gray. You are correct.
Yeah.
Answer is
I agree. I
gray,
don't
but you
think it's
pretty
a
much
real
just
thing.
said that. You are right.
I'm pretty sure it started as a fan theory.
It
And
wouldn't
then-
surprise me.
And then they just like continued to develop it.
Okay.
Now it's
With
I
4
don't even-
categories left on the board, Joey is only leading by 800. 3,000 for Joey, 2,200 for Braden. 4 questions left for 1, 2, 3, and 4 on Star Wars 5.
All right, hit
So if you do the math, that is 1,000 points left on the board. Starting off with 1,000 for Star Wars 5. What color is Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber? I definitely butchered that too.
it's Qui-Gon.
It's Qui-Gon?
Qui-Gon.
Oh,
Jinn.
Qui-Gon.
Liam
Okay.
Neeson.
Okay.
Green.
It's green. Correct. 1,000 points for Joey. He's up to 3,100. For 200, what is the name of Han Solo's ship?
The Millennium Falcon.
Yes. He's up to 2,400.
Millennium Falcon.
So we got 700.
Tyler, who'd he win it from?
Huh?
Who'd he win it from?
The,
In what
the Falcon?
game? Yeah. In what game?
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
It's Lando Calrissian. I don't know what the game's called.
Sabak. It's a card game.
I'll tell you what, Star Wars games I've only played has been the Lego Star Wars game.
You've never played Hollow Chess?
No, I've actually never played Hollow Chess. I know. I just never was a big video gamer. But the only one I actually played was not the new Lego Star Wars, the old one.
Yeah.
Like the first one.
Yeah.
On the PlayStation 3. But,
All right.
okay.
Hit me.
It's a 700-point game. 2 questions left, 3 and 400. Braden, you gotta get both of these right to tie, where we will go to just a 1-question tiebreaker, which I will Google because I don't have a tiebreaker question.
Great idea.
Yep. Who is the famous mentor of Luke Skywalker?
You got it.
Obi-Wan.
Yes, correct. He's up to 2,700 and 3,100. Now here's the score heading into the final questions. 400-point game. And coincidentally, the last question is for 400 points. So let's see if Braden can get this right, where we will go to a tiebreaker round. Who tells Rey, "I am no Jedi, but I know the Force"?
Maz Katana.
Correct. That is
I
correct
never
for
got
400 points. So here is your final score here of this Jeopardy game.
There's always a bigger fish.
3,500 for Joey, 2,700 for Braden. Really close game. It literally came down to that final question of this Jeopardy. But great job, guys.
Good game.
Joey,
Good
congratulations
game.
on the win. But that is going to do it for this special Star Wars episode of Nerd Alert. It is over, and I still indeed have the high ground. So may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.